Hello and welcome. You're watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. Let's catch some major updates from around the world. The Central Bureau of India has taken Subhash Shankar, a close associate of fugitive diamantaire Nirav Modi, back to Mumbai after he was apprehended in Cairo. My colleague Vidisha will tell you the story in detail.
On the request of CBI, Interpol issued a red corner notice against Nirav, his brother Nishal Modi and his employee Subhash Parab in 2018 in relation to USD 2 billion PNB fraud. Subhash Shankar had been on the run. He had been hiding in CRO for a while. The CBI carried out an operation and apprehended Shankar based on the information provided by the agency. He will be brought before a Mumbai CBI court and his custody for interrogation will be requested. When Interpol issue a red corner notice against a fugitive, it requests its 192 member countries to arrest or detain the person if they are found in their countries so that extradition or deportation proceedings can be commenced.
The first ever made in India commercial aircraft started providing air connection to Arunachal Pradesh's isolated communities. This will significantly strengthen air connectivity of the northeastern region with the rest of the country, making a watershed moment in Indian aviation history.
The first made in India 17-seater Dornier aircraft will be fly for the first time between 5 rural towns in Arunachal Pradesh and Dibugraha, Assam. The Minister of Civil Aviation has approved a scheme titled Proving Air Connectivity and Aviation Infrastructure in Northeastern Region to promote air connectivity in the Northeastern region's states if it's necessary to create air connectivity infrastructure. The 7-seater non-pressurized Dornier 228 with AC cabins and is capable of day and night operations. The regional connectivity in the northeastern states will be added by the small transport aircraft. The planes will be deployed to provide air connectivity to distant part of eastern Arunachal Pradesh, particularly districts near to Myanmar and China border. Alliance Air will be travel from Dibugraha to Pasighat at first. It will be subsequently travel to Tezu and finally Zero. Both in Arunachal Pradesh in next 15 to 20 days. All of this will occur during the initial phase. According to the top official from Ministry of Civil Aviation, the second phase will be connect Vijayanagar, Mechuka along and other locations. Officials noted that it would take 1 to 5 days to travel from this location in eastern Arunachal Pradesh to their nearest airport in Assam, Dibugraha and Lilabari. The development of India's northeastern region is not only strategic but also a component of the country's development story. Northeastern region connectivity is the critical and the Ministry of Civil Aviation has designated the region as the priority area under the Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik regional connectivity scheme. This has added the northeastern region's inter and intra-regional connectivity. New airports are being built and existing airports are being updated in the aspects.
The much-awaited Yatra is all set to begin almost after 2 years. Registration for the annual Amarnath pilgrimage opened on Monday in 446 banks, which includes Jammu and Kashmir Bank, Yes Bank, PNB Bank, SBI Bank, and across the country for both the Bantal and Chandarvana routes. Pilgrims can now register online via the Shrine Board's website.
An official of the Sri Amarnathan Shrine Board informed that the Yatri Niwas in the Ramban area is built at the cost of 32.16 crores. It can accommodate 300 pilgrims. According to the source, the board anticipates a footfall for more than 3 lakhs pilgrims this year. On the first day of the online registration, devotees flocked in PBS Rihari branch in large number of fill out forms and register for the journey. Persons under the age of 13 or above the age of 75 as well as the women who are more than 6 weeks pregnant will not be allowed to register. Due to the COVID pandemic, the year pilgrimage was cancelled in 2020 and 2021 and in 2019 it was halted in the middle of its journey. Prior to the revocation of the Article 370 on August 5, 2019, that year a total of 3,42,803 people had visited the cave shrine. This year's 43-day Yatri will begin simultaneously on the boat routes on June 30 and end on August 11 due to Raksha Bandhan holiday. The group essential insurance cover by the Yatris and service providers has increased by Rs 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs while the coverage for the horses have been increased for 3,000 to 50,000.
This was his first time when he met with President and Vice President since becoming Punjab's Chief Minister.
In separate meeting in Delhi on Tuesday, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwat Mann met President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. Mann is scheduled to meet CM Kejriwal. Apart from this, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwat Mann also met Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in national capital to discuss the program of supplying free power to up to 300 units in Punjab. Some of the big promises made by AAP in Punjab during the assembly elections last month were providing free energy to every house for up to 300 units, decreasing young employment and providing financial help to Rs 100 to every woman. Meanwhile, the Punjab Chief Minister assured all stakeholders, including farmers, that wheat procurement in the state will be smooth, quick and painless. He will mention the amenities available for farmers in the mandis such as potable drinking, water, lighting, seating and toilets amongst other things.
Serum Institute of India Chief Adar Poonawalla on Tuesday said that they will appeal to the government to reduce the gap before administering a booster dose against COVID-19 to 6 months from 9 months.
Speaking to the reporters, Poonawalla said the vaccine inoculation right now is a bit slow because we have got the rule that you have to wait for 9 months between dose second and third. We have appealed to the government on how to reduce this 6 months. India's on April 10 began the precaution dose of COVID-19 vaccine for 18 years and above citizens. According to the reporters, the booster dose roll-out received a slow start as less than 10,000 people received the jabs under the program. On Monday, 27,401 precaution doses have been administered so far in those aged 18 to 59 years. In the COVID-19 vaccination for the age group 12 to 14 years that began on March 16, more than 2.27 crores adolescents have been administered with the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine.
After a chaotic session, the Pakistan National Assembly Shehbaz Sharif was elected as the new Prime Minister of country on Monday. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in his inaugural speech raised the issue of abrogation of Article 370 in Kashmir.
PM Sharif alleged the people in the valley are bleeding and we are not providing them diplomatic and moral support. Attacking Imran Khan, PM Sharif rashed him for not making serious and diplomatic efforts when India abrogated the Article 370 in August 2019. Pakistan Prime Minister requested Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the Kashmir issue so that both countries could concentrate on issues like poverty, unemployment, shortage of medicines and other issues. The 70-year-old leader said he wanted good relations with India, which cannot be achieved without the solution of the Kashmir issue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his tweet, congratulated Shehbaz Sharif after he was sworn in as the 23rd Prime Minister of Pakistan.
The India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington State Department concluded on Tuesday.
The Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, said during the meeting they discussed contemporary challenges and issues in an open and constructive manner. They also revolved that the strategic partnership would continue to grow and play a greater role in shaping the direction of the world affairs. Meanwhile, on Monday, in response to US Secretary of the State Antony J. Blinken's note on India's additional purchase of Russian oil, Minister of the External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar said India's total purchase for the month would be less than what Europe buys in an afternoon. He emphasized that if we are looking at energy purchase from the Russia, then their attention should be focused on Europe. We do buy some energy as it is necessary for our energy security. However, if we look at the figures, India's total monthly purchase will be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. US Secretary of the State have said, we are encouraging countries not to purchase additional energy supplies from Russia. Every country has different needs and requirements, but we are looking to allies and partners not to increase their purchase of Russian energy, he added.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said he had no other choice but to launch a military operation to protect his country and that a clash with Ukraine's anti-Russian forces had been inevitable, adding that we could no longer tolerate genocide in Donbass. He said Moscow's military operation in Ukraine would undoubtedly achieve what he said were its noble objectives.
Speaking at the award ceremony at Vostochny Cosmodrome in the Russian Far East, Putin was quoted as saying by Russian news agencies that his forces carrying out Moscow's military campaign in Ukraine were acting bravely and efficiently and using the most modern weapons. Putin said the main objective of Moscow's military operation in Ukraine was to save people in the Donbass region of eastern Ukraine, where Russian-backed separatists have been fighting Ukrainian forces since 2014. Pentagon's officials said Russian forces are reinforcing around the Donbass region, notably near the town of Izium, but have not yet launched a full offensive. Ukraine's defense minister said that Russian preparations are almost over and that it believes a major assault will happen soon.
Battling with the worst economic crisis, the Sri Lankan Finance Ministry on Tuesday has decided to temporarily suspend the payments of the foreign debt. The decision is taken to avoid a hard default as its limited foreign reserves are required for imports of essential items such as fuel.
Sri Lanka's central bank governor P. Nandalar Virasinghe on Tuesday said making debt payment is challenging and impossible. The best action is to recoup debt and avoid a hard default. The government has announced that it will default on its USD 51 billion external debt pending a bailout from the Internal Monetary Fund in an interim policy released by Finance Minister. The ministry also announced that the creditors, including foreign governments that had given loans to the Islamic nation, were free to capitalize any interest payments due to them from Tuesday afternoon, or they can opt for payback in Sri Lankan rupees. According to the interim external public debt servicing policy, Sri Lanka government will be suspend normal debt servicing for affect debts for the interim period pending an orderly and consensual of those obligations in a manner consist with an economic adjustment program supported by the IMF. Acute food and fuel shortage as well as long power outages, lack of fuel and medicines have wreaked havoc on the country's 22 million people in the country's most painful downturn since independence 1948.
More than 17,000 people fled their homes as the storm hit the Philippines in recent days, flooding houses, severing roads, and knocking out power.
Rescuers, hampered by mud and rain on Tuesday, used their bare hands and sloves to search for survivals of landslides that smashed into villages in the central Philippines as the death count from the tropical region storm Mega reached 28. More than 17,000 people fled their homes as the storm pummeled the disaster-prone region in recent days, flooding houses and surviving roads are knocking out power. At least 22 people were dead and 27 missing after the landslides slammed into multiple villages around Baby City in Leyte Province, the hardest hit by the storm. Local authorities said just over 100 people were injured. 3 people were also killed in the central province of Negros Oriental and 3 on the main southern island of Mindanao, according to the National Disaster Agency.
Thank you for watching Unplugged TV India. If you like the video, please hit like, subscribe and share. This is Alice Francis signing off.